Imagine relying on a dozen different software programs to run your business, none of which are connected, and each one more expensive and more complicated than the last. It can be pretty stressful. Now imagine Odoo. Odoo has all the programs you'll ever need, and they're all connected on one platform. Doesn't Odoo sound amazing? Let Odoo harmonize your business with simple, efficient software that can handle everything for a fraction of the price. Sign up today at odoo.com. That's odoo.com.
For delicious meals, you could go out to eat, or you could just make a Marie Callender's meal. Marie Callender's classic chicken parmigiana bowl is so good. It has marinara sauce that's made from scratch and creamy mozzarella cheese over pasta. It's delicious with no artificial flavors, colors, or preservatives, and 30 grams of protein. You can find it in the frozen aisle. Marie Callender's, what having it all tastes like.
Our top story tonight. Carol Mandrioli was seen protesting Nalgene bottle uses in all state and national parks. He was seen talking to imaginary bears and marmots. Thankfully, Nalgene users can rest as he's in PTSD backpacking institution in California. Hello, everybody. This is Derek, and with me today is the only man who still mistakes swampy bogs as nature's soup, Carl Mandrioli. Here he is.
Welcome to the Backpacking Wishers podcast, the family-friendly show that is tips and tales with a sense of humor. With me today is Derek Somerville, a man who was raised as an only child, which really creeped out his brother.
Wow, that is creepy.
Yeah. Explains a lot, though, for being honest, right?
Probably. Yeah. Probably. Can't argue.
All right, we got Dixie from Homemade Wanderlust here. Jessica, Dixie Mills now Hawkins. She is back. She's back on our show, man.
That's exciting. She was a great guest.
Yeah.
Got some crazy interview stories that you pulled out of her, and we'll dive into that.
Yeah, so I kind of I kind of called it a game. It was like, have you ever? And then I just like had a series of questions, and then if she said yes to anything, then we kind of dug in, and then able to pull out like a couple creepy encounters, basically, is what that boils down to. So yeah, we'll see how that plays. Okay. But anyway, that's coming up. We got Bible verse. The episode is Romans 12:19. Beloved, never avenge yourselves, but leave it to the wrath of God, for it is written, vengeance is mine, I will repay, says the Lord. Derek, are you a big revenge seeker?
Huge.
Are you?
Huge. I'm coming after you. No, not really.
Okay.
I think if I'm playing, I don't know, maybe like a video game or a game or something, I'll want to get you back. Yeah, but I'm not going to I'm not going to road rage you on the freeway, Carl. I'm not going to road rage you.
Okay, here's a scenario. So you're playing a game. Let's say it's a strategic game, like a board game, and somebody defeats you, but you think that you're actually better at the game than the person that defeated you. Maybe they got some fortunate rolls of the dice or game pieces or whatever.
Oh, there's dice involved.
Do you have to immediately play them to show them that you are better, smarter, and more strategitic?
I used to.
Okay.
I think maybe like in my 20s, early 30s. But now I'm kind of like, it's just fun to play. You don't care. I don't care as much. Now, I did.
For 1 second. I think that you do have to play them back.
Well, maybe that's not true. I did hear Colorado has the highest rate of road rage incidents. Is that true?
Wait, you heard that or you researched that?
I researched it. Maybe it's not true. Maybe it is
true.
I
don't think that's true. Wait, highest rate? I don't think that's true.
You didn't know. I didn't research it. I was throwing it
Here's my theory on like really bad driving is that the more lanes you have on the highway, the worse the driving is.
Okay.
And then there's Boston. Boston just has people that are angry driving around.
I did find a report that said a lady finally got her driver's license after 14 years and 950 attempts at getting her license. She finally got it. Should she be on the road, Carl? Should she be on the road?
I think once you hit the 900th attempt and fail, you might want to reevaluate.
Banned? Just banned from driving?
Yeah.
Not free.
I'd be okay to take like a periodic driver's test because there's folks that, that they just hit an age or they should be wearing glasses and they don't, and then it's just bad, or just like a refresher, right?
I don't want to do that at all. I'd rather, I don't know. I do admire this lady's persistence though. She's got more than me. So anyway,
thanks for that fun fact. That was good right there. I like that one.
You like that?
Yeah.
I like that. It's good.
Okay. This episode is brought to you by the company that has gear that lasts way longer than 10 years, Enlighten Equipment. Lighten your load with the best quality ultralight quilts at enlightenequipment.com. All right, so we've got Dixie with her best and worst gear after 10 years. With me today is the #1 backpacking YouTuber in the world. Dixie, how's it going?
It's going. I'm doing pretty well. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. Honored to have you on the show. It's been a couple years since you've been on. You've had kind of a lot of life stuff going on. You've had a baby.
Yes.
And even though you've had a baby, you've thru-hiked the Arizona Trail. You've had a lot going on.
There has been a lot, but I'm fortunate for all those things. So
yes. So I just want to jump right in here. So I was watching your Arizona Trail documentary videos. You had quite the story. For those that haven't seen them, we're going to have them linked in our show description, but can you just tell us, like, you had a relative newborn and you're hiking an 800-mile trail. Like, what are the biggest challenges?
Getting there.
Okay.
To start with.
4 hours a day, right, of driving?
Yeah, right? It was like, I think we were definitely in the car a lot longer than that, but it was like 4 hours of actual time knocked off of the ETA to get there a day. It was tough. But like even the preparation, so I was on a very restrictive diet at the time because still breastfeeding, and he's got an allergy to cow's milk protein. So anyway, it was a mess.
Oh.
Getting out there. I've never been on a road trip where I stop every day to get dry ice for frozen breast milk. So that was interesting. But anyway, all of the preps, freeze drying food, but finally got out there. And then I've never been on a thru hike where I had to worry about Airbnbs. But every 100 miles or so, I would move my mom and my son to a different Airbnb. So I just, most thru hikes, you go out, you're on your own, you rip the Band-Aid off, say goodbye to family, and you're out there. And you would think like, oh, having a vehicle and a place to stay is really nice. And it is, but the logistics of all of that, like when do we need to move again? And so there was a lot more mental load, if you will, for this thru hike than normal. Pumping breast milk on trail, just like all sorts of things
That's
that
crazy.
I had never done before. But, every backpacking trip is kind of like that, or every thru hike has kind of been like that for me. You think you've got everything figured out and then you kind of one up yourself. There's some new facet, some new thing that you're learning. And so being a mom while thru hiking was the new challenge for this one for sure.
Yeah, I don't know how hard that'd be because I know that, I haven't done anything close to what you've done, but I just know that when I'm going out, whether it's a 3 to 5 day backpacking trip or a longer trip, one of the enticements is I'm letting go of like the leash to civilization, and I'm just going. And what I'm focused on for today is making it to wherever I'm going. Like that's my goal, and that's what I'm thinking about. But I feel like that's not what you could do. Like you were constantly attached, and you're constantly strategizing logistics even while you're on the trail, right?
Absolutely, because when you're on a normal thru hike, it's just, I was going to do 20 miles today, but now I don't really feel like it. I'm going to do 15 and sit by this, creek or whatever. And for me, it was like, I had this strong urge to get through and get back, to check on my son and to, all that. And then the constant concern of, because I was breastfeeding, am I going to have enough milk? And I had freeze dried some, and but the more I could be in town with him, like even getting there at night instead of in the morning, was like, oh, I can give him fresh milk, through the night or whatever. So just like things that I never thought that I would worry about with backpacking. And then leaving again and saying goodbye. And I went on a trip recently with my husband, just an adult trip. We haven't done that. And so anyway, we went, and of course, was crying when we left. And he's like, did you cry every time you left him on the Arizona Trail? And I said, yes. Yes, every single time.
Oh, wow.
But with that said, some people might be like, well, then why did you even bother going? Because that's, I needed to get back to who I was somewhat before being a mom. I think it's so easy for women to just kind of let go of who they were completely. And I told myself I wasn't going to do that. And so I've tried to hold true to that, because I do think it's important for our kids to see us, chasing our own goals, chasing our own dreams, and where there's a will, there's a way, and I needed it so badly at that time for my mental health. We went through a bad bout of him being colicky, and so I needed the trail so badly. And looking back, it was an expensive trip. It was very intense as far as logistics go, but it was so worth it. Like, I think that trip helped me more than any other through hike, hands down.
It's also your job too, right? Like,
well,
part
there is that,
awesome.
you know, yeah,
right.
There is that.
Yeah, and I think, I mean, people obviously love your trip videos, documentaries, and because I mean, it looks like that's what gets the most hits on your channel.
Oh yeah,
right?
Yeah, if I'm not out hiking, you know, the channel's definitely not doing as well, which has never been an issue because I love getting out there, you know. But
all right, so I got a question about one of your videos, though. I think it was the first episode. So you're just kind of hiking along, and then suddenly, like, you turn your camera, and you're like, "What's that?" And there's a hole in the mountainside with, like, it's metal gated off, no signs. What the heck is that? What's in there?
Right, Sasquatch, man. I don't know. I don't know if that was like old mining stuff.
That's what I thought.
You know.
Maybe. Yeah.
That's what, and I think there was somebody who commented there that mentioned what it was, and now it's like it has gone from my mind. But that's what I assume that used to be, or you know, storage of something. I don't know, but yeah, it's like
it was weird looking.
There wasn't even a gut hook or far out icon for that. Like,
oh really?
Yeah, you would think that there would be an icon and it would kind of talk about it, but no.
I mean, that my mind went like, okay, it's probably like a mine that's like dangerous and so they don't want people going inside.
Yeah.
But I was thinking probably small chance there's like a secret government facility in there, and
it's a bunker.
I don't know why that would be there, or access to something, but I just thought that was like one of the, I don't know. I like finding like weird things out on the trail. I found that weird.
Yes. So, they could have a sign up, like information, you know, telling you, nope, there was nothing.
No, yeah, there's nothing. It was just like in the middle of nowhere. Okay. So speaking of weird things, I've got a little game I want to play, which is like, have you ever? And then I've just got a bunch of different scenarios here. And so you just got to say yes or no. But if you say yes, then I want to know more about it if you're willing to share. Okay?
Okay. Deal.
All right, and so I feel like this is going to hit a lot of things because you have a lot of trail experience, a lot of thru hiking experience, and so I'm sure you've had a lot of just interesting things happen. All right, so here we go. Have you ever had somebody ask you for your phone number or try to give you theirs on the trail?
Yes. Well, and I say it, I make that face because, like, you know, there's no problem with that. But there was a dude that we both night hiked from a shelter. This was on the AT to watch the sunrise, and it kind of sounds romantic, right? But like, there were several of us who were planning to get up and go do that, and I had just met him in the shelter that night.
Okay.
And so we get up, and a couple of the other people were like, "No, I'm sleeping in." So I ended up just being me and this guy, and we go up there and, you know, watch the sunrise, and it's like, "All right, see you later." And I mean, I don't see him again. Then a couple weeks later, I see this sign leading to a shelter, and it was like Trail Magic for Dixie, and I was rushing to get to town. But I'm like, what if my family has come from Alabama and surprised me, you know, and they're half a mile down the trail at this shelter? Okay, I guess I'll go.
Yeah.
And so I get down there, and it's the dude, and he's like, the Trail Magic is I'm going to give you a full body massage.
Oh.
And I was like, about that. I'm good. I got to get to town, man. So yeah, he was definitely hardcore trying something, but that's the first Trail Magic I've turned down. And no, he did not get my phone number.
That's the first Trail Magic I've turned down. Okay.
Yeah.
That's way more aggressive than what I asked, but that's very interesting. All right. Have you ever been in your tent and suddenly somebody outside your tent is unzipping it?
No. That would be real bad. I'd come out of there like a spider monkey, though. Woo.
Yeah, like I've heard scenarios where people, like, I don't know, especially in the thru hiking community, where somebody maybe like is a little bit tipsy and they pick the wrong tent, and so they're just like, "Oh, this is my tent," and so anyway. But yeah, that would totally creep me out. Okay.
Yeah.
Have you ever had somebody you've never met try to coax you out of your tent in the evening?
No.
Like, can I get directions? Do you have any extra water? Like that kind of thing.
No, thankfully not.
Okay.
Yeah. I've had people talk to me, of course, through the tent, but that's fair. That's normal.
Anybody in there?
Hi. Yeah. Knock, knock.
That's right.
Yeah. You know, just chatting. That's all right.
All right. Have you ever seen somebody using a piece of gear wrong and you tried to help them like fix it?
I'm typically, so my husband would disagree. Like, he's like, you're a know-it-all. And, if somebody says something wrong, I'm like, well, actually, like, I'm that person that can't, I will say on trail, I feel like I don't typically just offer unsolicited advice. I don't know why it's different out there. Now, if somebody was truly struggling and they seemed like they were wanting some help, then yes. But, like, I can't think of a particular time. So.
Well, Dan Becker recently shared that he saw somebody have their backpack wasn't quite fitting right, and so he kind of a little bit too aggressively tried to grab a hold of some of their straps and try to help them, and then realized that they were getting creeped out. So,
oh, bless his heart, bless their hearts too. But yeah,
right. That's where that question came from. Okay, have you ever given water to somebody out of your bottle on the trail?
Yes, I again, I don't know a particular instance, but like multiple times, it's been like somebody's short on water and I've got some. And so
that happens way more often, at least with me, and not even like while I'm backpacking. I could just be out on like a trail run or something and I've come across like a family who's just like, they're like, we're farther in than we thought and we're out of water and it's hot outside. So
it happens.
That happens a lot.
It does.
Have you seen anything aside from what we just talked about with the little cave thing? Have you seen anything you can't explain in the backcountry?
There on the CDT, there was an area that they had like warning, maybe random explosives that haven't been like detonated or something, off the trail. And then there were like these structures that I don't know if there was like practice training in them or what, but there were a lot of birds living in them. So it's pretty cool. But things like that, mostly like man-made things. And I'm like, wonder what that was for, or why this was here. But nothing, super creepy or aliens or Bigfoot or anything. So
that is interesting though. All right. Last one I got is, aside from Massage Guy, have you ever encountered somebody you were afraid of?
Yes. There have been times where, you meet people that just, they kind of make the hair raise up on the back of your neck on the Florida trail. But it's normally people, I will say, who are not backpacking, but that you encounter on the trail or because of the trail. So on the Florida trail, there was a guy that drove up in a Jeep and he was like, "You're not going that way, are you?" And I was like, "Not anymore." Not if I was, I wouldn't be now. But he was just real weird. Like he was trying to protect something or hide something. There was a fella in South Florida that did not speak very good English, so there was somewhat of a language barrier. But he was one of the sugarcane workers, and I know that apparently it happens that sometimes people will hide their marijuana plants in the sugarcane because the growing season works out. They get watered and things like that. But it was getting dark, and he came up and was asking me where my car was, because I was at this, it was almost like a little roadside pavilion, and I was cooking dinner and then gonna hike on into the night, and he was just asking me a lot of questions, and I was like, I don't have a car, and I was trying to explain to him, most people don't, even that can speak the same language very well, don't understand. I'm about to walk into the, well, it's like the levees in Florida, but walk into
especially
the wilderness.
In Florida, I guess.
Yeah, and so I'm, I'm trying to explain to him, and he's like, "You will not go that way." Like he was kind of telling me like I'm not going that way. And so there was a weird hitchhike that I had in California where the dude told me that he had punched somebody's nose off before, killed somebody, was in prison, and picked me up because I had blonde hair. There have been a lot of strange birds that I did not feel safe around. But all's well that ends well.
You've made it through. That's crazy. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Well, that's all right. I have not had those experiences, but that is all right. That is very interesting. I'm glad you're okay. All right. So appreciate you playing along. All right. This episode really kind of is focused on basically some of your recent videos where you've been putting out some of like your favorites, the best, and the worst gear that you've used after 10 years of hiking, backpacking, and through hiking. And so, all right. So we want your expertise with these pieces of gear. Are you ready?
Ready.
Okay. Tent. What is the best tent you've used after 10 years, or one that you're not willing to use anymore?
Hands down, the Zpacks duplex. Now, there have been several different, versions of it. But they've got, the most recent one I have, the vestibule zips. So I really love that. But it's just straightforward for me to set up. It doesn't matter what direction I set it up. I just love that tent, and it's it's my go-to, and I think it will be. You know, I've tried many other tents, and while they might be really great tents, they just don't click with me the same way. But you know, gear is so subjective, right? Like everyone has their thing. But that's my go-to.
Yeah, and we can say that as a caveat. Like, yeah, we know that it might not be everybody else's, but we want to know what you think, and yeah, that could inspire.
And obviously we can't go into as much detail, but in those videos, you know, I've said like why this works for me, why I prefer it. But I think it's important that people listen to that, because just because it's my go-to doesn't mean that everyone else will love it, right? So
For sure. Specifically people who don't bring trekking poles.
for example,
Right.
the tent that I would never use again, and I tested this one out just because. So I tried to find the most expensive tent that I could find, right? Backpacking tent. And it was a big Agnes Tiger Wall. And I think it's since been discontinued, but I don't know if they have like a new version of it. But it was like around $1,500 or something like that,
Right.
between 15 and 2,000. And it was nylon, but also had Dyneema. It was just the flimsiest piece of junk thing ever. It tore, it messed up. And thankfully,
Wait, it tore?
Yes. And thankfully I got it from REI, so I was able to return it because, you know, but I was like, I just want to see. It must be like the bougiest thing ever, you know, and I just want to try it out and see. Again, whenever I get stuck on a piece of gear, it's like I want to test out all these other types of or different brands of things to challenge that, you know, to see like, can I find something better? But
yeah,
price on something doesn't always mean it's the best.
Correct. Okay.
I've used a $50 tent that I would rather tote over that one.
I don't think I knew that there's a $1,500 to $2,000 Big Agnes tent. I got to look into that.
Yeah, it's since been discontinued, but
because of the returns.
Yeah. And it had tent poles and all that. They were carbon fiber. Maybe, and you know, I want to say one of my tent poles broke, but I don't remember. I know the tent failed.
That's the worst one that I've seen is the REI Half Dome, because like that won't break as fast as it sounds like your tent broke, but that one I just find that to be the most broken tent I come across, and I come across a lot of them out in Colorado garage selling, and like there's always something wrong with it, and it's typically the poles, but not always the poles. So kind of interesting. But okay, next up, sleeping pad. What you got?
My all-time favorite forever so far is the Neo Air X Lite by Thermarest.
The crinkly one, right?
Yes, man, the Dorito bag. That's what everyone calls it. But it doesn't bother me. You know, I also like the Cuban fiber or Dyneema tents to sleep in. So like that noise in general doesn't bother me. I get it that it does some people. But it's just like, wait, it's bomb proof. Like I know I have popped it, but due to poor site selection.
Okay.
And then the repair patch, like for in the field, works wonderfully. Like I've put that patch on and it's held up for miles and miles, like it's not failed, you know. So I have eventually replaced them just because I noticed some funk growing on the inside or something like that. But like they are.
Wait, you can see it growing on the inside.
If you have it long enough, you can.
Well, there was another guy that like cut one open after he had used it for years, and
I bet it's gnarly.
No, he didn't have anything, but I don't know. Like he lives in Utah, which is a much drier climate than a lot of places in the U.S., and so I just don't know if that was a factor.
Yeah, well, and I know they have the pump sacks, but I'm like, that's added weight. I'll just blow it up with my mouth.
I do the same thing.
Fine.
Okay.
But worst sleeping pad, also by Thermarest, was the Uberlite. And that one, I thought that might replace my Neo Air. They've also discontinued that one from what I understand. But it popped on mine, and my mother's popped the same first night that we used both of them.
Okay.
And so that, to me, and it was not poor site selection. Like it was a great, well-established site. So
okay. Bag or quilt? What do you like?
Unfortunately, I am forced to use synthetic right now because I have a down allergy. I'm going to slowly acclimate myself to down again. I'm going to find a way. I'm going to do it because I miss down so much. But so my go-to for synthetic is Enlightened Equipment, the Enigma Apex.
Yeah.
The custom, because then I'm cold, so I've got to get the 20-degree bag, and they don't have that like readily in stock. I like that you can customize Enlightened Equipment stuff like so much, like the thickness, the denier of the fabric on the outside, the inside, all that stuff. They even have like narrow for the width on theirs, and so anyway, I really like that. But I'm gonna be honest. If I was still using down, Catabatic all the way. I have never been so warm in a quilt, and it was the Catabatic Alsec 22.
Okay.
Man, that thing was so warm and cozy. And so, yeah, that's...
You're smiling you missed that one.
I do. Yeah.
Okay.
But,
are you gonna like slowly acclimate yourself to down feathers? Like,
yeah, I don't know. I'm like, I'm thinking about just like wearing some down booties to sleep at night, and see what...
see what happens.
And then slowly work up to wearing a down jacket. I don't know. Maybe wear a down jacket around town. But I'm like, what if I, they do those allergy shots. So I'm like, what if I just slowly, dose myself with it? And I don't know. I don't know if it works like that. But yeah.
Okay. If it works, if that works, you got to make a video on that because
I should be like, whoop, I overdid it. Look how swollen my face is this morning.
Yeah. I guess, or if it doesn't work, right? Yeah. Like you should just, the process should be a video, like how I tried to use down again. I don't know but yeah, that'd be interesting for sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Is there any bag that you like? I don't know. It's hard to like dislike bags. Yeah. I haven't had a lot of bags fail on me or quilts fail on me. Have you?
I would say no, not fail, but I would say the one that I've used in the past that I would not use again. I had on the Appalachian Trail. Of course, at that time I didn't know what I didn't know, so like that's the only sleeping bag I'd ever had. It was a Sierra Designs, like 22 degree. And I froze so much on. Really? Yes, I froze in the Smokies. There were days where I was like freezing in my sleeping bag, and I'm like, man, this is as warm as I'm going to be today, but I just thought that was kind of part of it. I feel like I was tougher, before I found better gear. And then, then you get spoiled.
Badge of honor.
Yeah. And so that one I would not use again.
The only one I guess I was thinking through as I said that is like I've got an Outdoor Vitals bag that I like, but the zipper's kind of weird. It could be user error. I might just be really bad with zippers, but I always have a hard time. Like if it comes all the way unzipped in the middle of the night, like it's not getting rezipped. Like you have to have like flashlight on and hyper focus. So anyway, that's my only one. But okay, backpack. Backpack for, how about like through hiking backpack or 3 to 5 day trip backpack?
So, well, for me, it's probably going to be the same thing.
Okay, great.
The ULA Ultra Catalyst is the one that I used on the Arizona Trail, and I like it pretty well. Okay. But I will say, and I love ULA's packs. I've used several of them. I've had some decent packs over the years, but there's not a pack that I'm like, is so super near and dear to my heart. And I don't know why. I don't, but there just hasn't been. And I've tried a bunch of them, but like that is a good pack. And if I was to go on a trip right now, that's the one I would definitely take.
Okay.
I do like the packs that have the loops on the bottom, and they give you that option of doing that because I like to put my shelter on the outside of my pack. Because if it's soaked, stuffing it down on the inside of your pack and I don't know. I feel like it might dry out a little bit if it's on the outside, but also because if I get to camp and it's raining, I don't have to open my pack. I just throw out my shelter, throw up my tent, throw my pack inside, and then unpack in there. And in the morning, it's the same way. Pack everything up, then get out, pack up the tent, and put it on the outside of the pack. So, so that's just my preference, So whether I strap it to the top or the bottom, it's better to the bottom because that usually helps stabilize it so it doesn't fall over. There's nothing more annoying than you set your pack down and flops over. It's like
it does, right? But wait, so if you have it on the let's say you packed it up and it's wet, condensation or just like it was raining all night, whatever, and then you strap to the bottom of your pack, isn't that like dripping on your legs as you're hiking as you're going?
Well, if it's been raining, like you're gonna be walking through brush that's wet anyway,
so you don't care.
Yeah, I don't care.
You're like whatever.
But I mean, most of the time it's sticking out more, right? So I've never noticed it dripping on me, but it might, know, but it's the thickness of the pack. And then you've got the tent. It's not like right up underneath the bottom. It's kind of out. So yeah.
For whatever reason, that like really the dripping, like water dripping on me while I'm hiking. Back when I used to bring, like the hydration reservoirs and stuff. And like, maybe I didn't lock it down right. And then like your pack's leaking and now things are just dripping on you. Like that's like, I don't know.
Yeah. Hey, everyone has their thing. Okay. I can't stand it when my pack sounds like a saddle. I don't know if you know what I'm talking about, but like if you've ever rode a horse and it's like, it kind of has that creak to it.
It's the pack squeak. Yeah.
Oh, I'm like, I'll shake around and like try to, and it just still.
People were asking about that because you could actually hear the pack squeak in like
Yes,
in
in
your videos,
one of
like
the
when you're recording, it's like,
It's so annoying. It's like, because somebody thought it was my shoe squeaking or something. And I was like, no, it wasn't my
Right,
shoe. It was the
right.
pack. And I hate it. It's frustrating. Like, yeah. But
right. I know there's some packs, they just squeak. Like it's just their suspension system. Yeah, I think you addressed it in your video. It was like, if you have to cinch, you have to like maybe move something around inside your pack, but there's also like certain straps that are like the tension's like too much on it or something where you just have to constantly adjust it to kind of like dial
you
it
just got
in.
to play around with it.
So,
Yeah.
I'm with you. Okay, let's see. All right, last category I've got is best any other piece of gear. So kind of miscellaneous and least favorite any other piece of gear.
I would say the Sawyer squeeze is like been a go-to of mine for, a long time. There was a short time that I used a gravity system from Platypus, but it's heavy. And when you go to other places where there aren't trees, it's just not as convenient. So, but yeah, the Sawyer squeeze, because nobody really likes having diarrhea on trails. So, it's great to have that.
Shocker there. Yeah.
Weird. Yeah. And then I would say a piece of gear that seems like it's pretty popular for a lot of people that I don't carry is gaiters.
Okay.
It's just something else to fuss with. And I don't notice that
Right.
it, helps me so much. I think some of that depends on your gait and if you sling stuff up. But also, some people, it bothers them to feel a little pebble in their shoe or something. And I'll hike forever with something there like that. And then I'm like, I should probably dump this before it makes a blister or whatever. But so, yeah, the gaiters, I just don't have time for all that. I don't like it.
All right. Well, there you have it. We got Dixie's favorite and least favorite gear after 10 years of backpacking through hiking. So thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
All right, I've got the lightning round for you now. So
Okay.
we didn't have this last time you were on. This is where you have 1 minute to answer as many questions as you can. They could be backpacking related or not.
Okay.
Are you ready for this?
Is this yes or no, or is this also...
That was a different game.
Okay. All right.
This could be yes or no, but it could be
answered.
like what's your favorite color? It could be something as simple as that.
Okay.
It could be something that's cause you to think for a moment. But yeah, we typically get 7 or 8 answers. I think Justin Outdoors, he was like hyper competitive, and I think he cycled through 13 of them.
Oh man, so 14's the goal.
It is, but I wasn't even expecting him to get that much. So I was coming up with questions on the spot. So we'll see how it goes, but definitely some curveball questions in here.
Okay.
The secret is out. With millions of younger-looking customers across the country, Plexiderm is one of the most highly sought-after products on the market. It visibly shrinks under-eye bags and smooths out crow's feet in minutes, and the effects last up to 10 hours. Influencers love it, magazines feature it, and people just can't get enough of it. As a matter of fact, Elle Magazine gave it an Editor's Choice Award as Best Instant Wrinkle Filler for 2025. In as little as 10 minutes, Plexiderm reduces the appearance of fine lines, wrinkles, and those dreaded under-eye bags. So yes, you can look years younger in minutes, and the effects last for hours. No surgery, no gimmicks, just results. The best news, you can try Plexiderm for only $14.95. Plus, get free shipping. Don't wait. Order Plexiderm today. Visit plexiderm.com/special. That's plexiderm.com/special. Paid for by Sheer Science.
Nobody does selling better than Shopify. Shopify is the home of the #1 checkout on the planet. And the not-so-secret secret, with Shop Pay that boosts conversions up to 50%, meaning way less carts go abandoned and way more sales going through. So if you're into growing your business, your commerce platform better be ready to sell wherever your customers are scrolling or strolling. On the web, in your store, in their feed, and everywhere in between. Businesses that sell more, sell on Shopify. Upgrade your business and get the same checkout that Skims uses. Sign up for your $1 per month trial period for 3 months at shopify.com/Westwood1, all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/Westwood1 to upgrade your selling today. Shopify.com/Westwood1.
Need parts fast? O'Reilly Auto Parts has fast. Need them now? We've got now. No matter what you need, we have thousands of professional parts people doing their part to make sure you have it. We're O'Reilly Fast. Just one part that makes O'Reilly stand apart. The professional parts people.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
I want to know a good personality trait a backpacking partner of yours should have.
Patience, because I take a lot of pictures and videos.
Do you eat Spam or Pop-Tarts on the trail?
I have eaten both, but I don't really eat either anymore.
A comedy movie you like?
27 dresses.
Your favorite luxury backpacking item?
Luxury. I mean, all my camera equipment. Like that's I enjoy that.
A non-hiking skill you have?
Gardening. I like to do that.
A year you'd like to time travel to?
Ooh, I would love to see Hank Williams Sr. in concert. That would be amazing.
Okay, what year's that?
1952.
A law or rule you've broken?
Oh. I mean, I've definitely gotten a ticket for running a red light. Not super intentionally speeding, the usual things.
And time. All right, you're smack dab right at the average there. I think you hit 7 or 8 right there. So,
Hey.
yay, well done. Okay, so
I'll take it.
yeah. I'm trying to think of some of the interesting things you said. You carry, like, I was just looking at your pack. So I think you had your camera. I think you had the tripod. You had the baby, like the breast pump, basically. You had an umbrella. Like, you must have had at least, what was it, like 6-7 pounds of just extras, right?
Oh yeah, no, it's ridiculous. And I honestly, I don't usually create those lists once I'm done because I don't want that number in my mind. I opted to not carry my trail cam this time because just all the breast pump stuff it offset that, and I was like, but I do love setting that up though, the trail cam, and seeing what's creeping around at night. I wish I'd had that on the Florida trail. That's the trail that made me think I would love to have this, because the wild hogs out there and stuff, there's so much wildlife on the Florida trail. Yeah,
that's actually on my list of something to get. So that's really funny you mentioned that. I haven't seen 27 Dresses. I don't even know. Is that a wedding movie?
Yeah, it's like a rom-com. I also like My Best Friend's Girl. That one's a good one.
Okay.
But yeah, also a rom-com. I like comedy. My husband's more like,
I don't think we're watching the same movies.
Yeah.
Like Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, I know. I was going to say, my husband's like, when we sit down to watch something, we can usually settle on comedy, like actual just comedy, not rom-com, But but I also do the Lord of the Rings and the Hobbit and stuff like that. So I'm good with those. But like let's just slay one another, I'm good. Like,
I'm not into that either. So I'm with you. Okay.
Yeah.
As long as they're orcs, it's fine.
Yes. Yeah. We can slay the orcs.
Slay the bad guys for sure. All right. Last question. What can we look forward to on your YouTube channel or anything else you got going on?
Coming up, I'm definitely going to go out more with my son. We took him on his first overnight trip. It was just one night up to Springer Mountain. And because it was like the 10-year anniversary of me finishing the trail around that weekend. And so we decided to go up there just, why not? And so it was pretty cool to go back to the arch and the plaque on Springer Mountain and see all of that, like, wow, I dreamed of being here 10 years ago, like, having a family and things like that. So it was cool to go back and, have my family there. So I want to get him out some more on some short trips.
Yeah.
And also I have the Eastern Continental Trail. I've been wanting to chip away at that. It's crazy to do like a through hike of the Pinhoti Trail and the Florida Trail and the Appalachian Trail. And those are section hikes of the Eastern Continental Trail.
Right.
Right. So I've got some, the Alabama Road Walk that I need to fill in. So I'll be doing some of that. And then I've got a documentary, a long version coming out of the Arizona Trail. Cause I do the weekly updates, but then I like to do the full documentary, and usually those include footage that wasn't in the weekly stuff, and so that's coming out. And then I'm actually starting a podcast.
What?
Yeah. I've been wanting to do it for a long time. I had analysis paralysis for a long time because I was struggling I didn't want to just talk about backpacking and outdoors. Like, I have a lot of other things that I'm interested in. Longevity is, health.
Okay.
Self-sufficiency, overcoming hardships, yada, yada.
Like
Just
gardening.
a lot of different topics that I'm interested in. I talk about backpacking on the channel, but like I want to, branch out. So I didn't know how to do that because backpacking has shaped my life so much. So I also felt like that should be included some. And so anyway, it's called Off Trail with Dixie. So it's like, we're off the trail so I can talk about other things. But obviously I will still have some people on with, talking about backpacking and things like that.
When you have it released, like send us the link. I'll let everybody know so they can check it out. So
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Off Trail with Dixie is what it's called?
Off Trail with Dixie.
Well, Dixie, it's been a pleasure and honor to hang out with you. Thank you for sharing some really crazy and fun stories and putting up with some of the nonsense questions I had.
They're fun. That was
So
great.
thanks for coming on the show.
Yeah, thank you for having me again.
All right, Derek, what did you think about that?
Well, I mean, I did your interview skills improve? I think a little bit, yeah. I think that was good.
I don't know.
She's a delight. I still find it amazing that she solo backpacks all this stuff. She must love the alone time. She must love the peace and quiet. And as much as I love my own alone time, I don't know if I could do miles and miles by myself. So I think it just takes a certain type of person. This is something she clearly loves doing, and I'm interested to talk about these weird stories she mentioned for sure. So,
and just to clarify, like I don't know that she loved it when she did the Arizona Trail and she's like leaving her relative newborn behind.
Yeah.
I found out right before we started to record that she hadn't been on a podcast to really share some of the behind the scenes for her Arizona Trail hike, if you're a Dixie fan, you've been watching those documentaries. I asked a little bit about it, but I didn't know I don't know that we wanted to do a whole episode just on her Arizona Trail. And so, but she's going to come up with a documentary about that. So if you want more information about that, it's coming.
That'd be interesting.
Yeah. All right, let's talk about Massage Guy. So was Massage Guy just like, I don't know, just off base? He just kind of misinterpreted things, or would you just suggest in general this is not the right way to go about things?
I think this is premeditated. I think this is not the first time this guy tried something like this, and I think it's a little weird. Yeah,
right.
Like, what do you think the reaction is going to be, dude? Like, really? Like,
the hope is the reaction is like, "I love you too," and let's hang out.
I think there might need to be some. I don't know. I'm worried about that guy. I think some other issues going on.
All right, other one that kind of stuck out was, so she's hiking through Florida this time, but let's just put ourselves in her circumstance. Let's say we're hiking down a trail and we hit a road and we got to cross a road and we got to keep on hiking.
This is trippy, yeah.
But we encounter somebody who's like, do not go this way. Whatever you do not go this way, like in a very intense way. Are you... What if we're supposed to go that way? Like, how are you going to handle that?
I feel like your response would be more like, well, let me ask you some questions, guys. Like,
Depends on how scared I am of the person. And do I see any sort of like indication they've got a weapon on them too?
Oh, okay. Well, if you're talking weapons and all that, I'd be like,
I don't know if they do. She didn't say that he did.
I think is that a discernment issue? You just like abort that route and just, change the trail. I think, it's not worth it. Right. So I'd be like,
come on, don't you kind of want to know what's down there?
I kind of do, but I kind of like want to live,
So one strategy would be like, all right, we're not going to go this way. Like, you convinced us, and you hike down the road a little ways and then cut back in diagonal towards the trail.
Oh, that's something we would do. Be like, yeah, you know what, guys, you're right. My bad. And then we just like peer off to the right and be like, all right, how can we get back around this, guys? How can we get back?
As a solo backpacker, I am not doing this. If I got Derek with me,
oh, we're going.
Derek, you go first. Let's go, man.
I'll huckleberry for you. I'll huckleberry. It's all good. Could you and I talk our way through that roadblock? What are the chances? What do you think? Percentage wise?
Like what? Like you're trying to convince them that you're okay.
It's just 4 tough dudes and they got tats and they're just like, get out of here, right? What's the percentage?
Yeah. In our defense, one of our guys probably has a sword, so that.
Well, that's true. If we had our normal 4 guys, what's the percentage for getting through that?
I don't know. We encountered a creepy group a few years ago when we were in Banff, and I mean, they just looked like they had the capability of terribleness, and so my response was like, hey, we don't even need to talk to these people. Let's just keep going. Let's be polite and keep going. Not everybody in our group thought that was the right strategy, which is really weird. I guess based on that experience, I guess I probably, if I sense danger, I'm probably not talking to them.
Okay. I think here's I know what would happen if we had Rocky, me, you. Rocky would have the football, and he'd say, like, look, guys, why don't we play a little 4-on-4, and whoever wins, we either go by or we don't. And I think
I think that's the solution, and not just for our group. I think this is just like a really good piece of advice that Derek's got right here. Is figure out some sort of competition you can play with these criminals, and if you can win, you get to go.
Yeah, exactly. Like it's win-win, really, unless you lose, and then that's a problem. Just don't
Please
lose.
subscribe for more helpful trail tips like that.
Just don't lose. It's not that hard,
Just don't lose. All right. So, what did you think about Dixie's, top items, top gear that she chose and gear that she didn't like? And have you had similar experiences? Please let us know. All right. Trail Magic Trivia is brought to you by Magnet Designs. Check out their Bend Alpha sleeping bag liner that also works for quilts. You can add it to your bag or quilt to increase the warmth rating without having to buy a whole new setup. It can be used by itself if you're going on hotter summer trips, or if you just want to take a daytime nap, which Derek does most hours of the day.
Yes.
At 700 ounces, the Bend Alpha Liner can be a versatile piece to your gear collection. Check it out by Googling Magnet Designs.
All right, here we go.
Trail Magic Trivia.
Here
we're
go.
tied right now because of your horrific trivia the last time.
Epic trivia.
Update on that later about the whole aerospace thing for those who've been tuning in. But here we go. Number 1. What is the definition of trail magic? A comfortable place to stay for a thru hiker. B, a can of soda in a cooler left for long distance hikers on a trail. Or C, an unexpected morale boosting event from a stranger.
An unexpected morale boost. Oh, you're talking about your magic show? Is that what you're talking about?
I could be.
I'm gonna say the can in the cooler. It's like little goodies left on the trail for thru hikers.
So that is an example of trail magic. But folks, that wasn't the question. The question is, what is the definition of trail magic? Which is letter C, an unexpected morale boosting event from a stranger. I actually thought this was a gimme. This
is what your trivia is going to become.
Dude, that was an easy one. Are you serious? That was like Captain Obvious.
Well, is the can not? It was the same thing. It's like that's trail magic. The cooler and the can
When I'm teaching in front of the class and I ask for a definition of something and somebody gives me an example, not the same thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this is what we're going to do, folks. With
this
the trivia
is
from now on.
Derek not comprehending. You're so good at comprehending trivia questions too. So just fault yourself.
This is what makes these so bad. Go ahead.
Number 2, where did trail magic officially begin? A, the Appalachian Trail. B, the Pacific Crest Trail. C, Colorado Trail. Or D, Machu Picchu.
Where did trail magic begin?
Yes.
This is about as dumb as the question I gave you about aerosol.
You can figure this one out. This one is harder than the first question, but still figure out
I want everybody to take a minute here. And he asked me the same type of question I asked him about something completely
incorrect.
Ridiculous.
Everybody mentally guess what the answer is. I bet you got it right.
I love that you're defending your ridiculousness. That's fine. Okay, what is it? Pacific Crest Trail. Go ahead.
Appalachian, Colorado, or Machu Picchu.
This is ridiculous. You know what? Just for fun, I'm going to say Machu Picchu. I have no idea.
Machu Picchu.
No, I'm kidding.
That was like my silly answer. No.
Pacific Crest Trail.
No.
Pacific Crest Trail.
The oldest through hiking trail where stuff happened was the Appalachian Trail. So it's letter A, Appalachian Trail.
Okay.
Dang, you lost trivia again, man.
How would I not know
You're
that?
at risk for going over 3 again.
Originated from.
This is supposed to be easy.
Who
Okay, number 3.
Googles that?
Which of these trail magic stories is entirely made up?
The irony is my trivia is supposed to be easy too. Go ahead. Which is made up?
Which of these is made up? A, a magician tried to perform magic tricks for John Muir Trail through hikers. B, a local lets a hiker stay in a spare room at their house not far from the trail. C, a gold miner drives a hiker back to his remote RV, lets him spend the night, and then cooks him pancakes in the morning before dropping him off at the trail. D, an older wealthy man gives a through hiking couple $300 to spend on food and gear at a nearby town to celebrate their 45th anniversary.
Which
one's made up? I made up one of these.
How are these questions any better than?
Okay, first of all, 2 of these are stories that have played out on this podcast multiple times. So 2 of these you should be able to eliminate like this. And the one that's right, I think, is obvious.
The one is ridiculous. All right. What was the second one? Do the second one again.
A local lets a hiker stay in a spare room at their house not far from the trail.
Which one's a made up?
Yeah.
Ooh. I mean, you have these are so elaborate, these ridiculous stories. $300. And the third one was like made pancakes in the morning?
The gold miner, yeah.
The gold miner. All right, I'm going to do the gold miner pancakes in the morning.
That's a super embarrassing answer. That one happened to me. I shared that story
I don't
multiple times in this
remember
podcast. That happened to me on the Pacific Crest Trail.
I don't remember. How long did you tell that story? 10 years ago?
No, but I've told this story multiple times, and I talked about how the guy was like really into aliens and talked about like all sorts of crazy stuff.
Dude, you told that story like 10 plus ago.
No.
Look it up.
No. If you don't listen to my stories, it's fine. But you've done 2 over 3s in a row. I'm heavily embarrassed for you.
Guys, do you see how this whole 0 for 3 thing is going to be a lame thing already? It's just going to be lame.
Okay.
The questions have gone downhill. There's no...
Incorrect.
We're not learning anything.
Incorrect.
We're not learning anything.
You are the biggest whiner in the world, by
gosh.
the way. In the world.
Wow. I'm going to whine, and then I'm going to be done. You're going to be like...
All right.
Keep going and bring it up the next episode.
Let's talk about trivia. So last season I lost and I did the Mega Muffin Challenge. Did you ever watch that video?
I did. And I think that you went in there. We talked about this. You don't listen to my stories, I guess.
No, we haven't talked about this in the podcast.
Okay. Well, I think you actually talked to the guy ahead of time and told him what you were going to do, and he was so casual with it.
Okay. Before you share your theory, tell for those who haven't seen the video, what happened?
Okay, so Carl goes up to the drive-thru and he's like, "Hey," at the little intercom. He's like, "Hey, I'd like to order 1 Mega Muffin," and the guy just looks like, "Yeah, okay, cool, come on around. It's gonna be $2.99." I was like, "Wait, what?" Comes around, gives him the thing, and then he drives off. And you're gonna claim that you did the Mega Muffin Challenge. I say poo-poo on that.
Why?
Because nobody is going to be like, yeah, okay, cool. It was so staged. You clearly talked to the guy beforehand.
Wait, you think wait. You think I know the Carl's Jr. worker?
No, I think you went in or drove through before and was like, hey, I'm going to come back around, or I'm going to go through and be like, I'm going to say Mega Muffin, blah, blah, blah. There's no way he's just going to be like, yeah, oh, Mega Muffin. Yeah, I know what that is.
Let's go back to the trivia challenge. For me, or the trivia loss challenge.
Oh, you're gonna find a loophole. That's what you're gonna do.
All I had to do was I had to go into the drive-thru and order a Mega Muffin. That's all I had to do. The outcome or whatever was gonna happen was not part of the deal. It was just that was the job that I had to do. And it just
did you preemptively do
it? Did I go into the store and tell him I was gonna do that?
Did you go talk to the guy and tell him to be calm about it and like just give it to you?
100%. 100%.
Yeah, exactly. That's not the challenge.
Yes, it was. I ordered the Mega Muffin.
No, dude, I'm not. You know what? I'm not doing the punishment anymore because
yes, you are.
Everybody knew it was implied that you're just supposed to go in there willy-nilly and drive through. Yeah, you drive through and you order it. That's the whole gag. That's the whole gag. And you had to go tweak
I think that this is a lesson for you to be more specific with your trivia punishments.
No.
I think that because of your non-specificity, you paid the price and you're embarrassed.
Here's the thing, guys. We go all season. We all think he's just going to do it raw dog. Go in there and just order this thing. And he preemptively twisted it and made it convenient. So it was too easy.
Actually, to be honest, it wasn't easy. Having that conversation with the guy.
That's what you should have videoed.
That's what I should have videoed because that guy had no idea. He had no idea what I was talking about. I was like, look, here's what's going to happen. Here's what I want. Here's how I wanted to go. And he's like, yeah, I can't do that. I was like, no, you can because I'm still going to pay for it. I'm not asking for anything free. I'm going to pay for it. And he's like, I don't understand why we're doing this. I'm like, I told you because I've got a running joke with my buddy. It took like a few minutes for me to like get him to understand.
Do you think we enjoyed you explaining it, or do you think we would have enjoyed you ordering it and him not knowing it?
I probably should have. Yeah, but if I come in with like a camera rolling, hey buddy, I'm about to ask you a question. Just so you know, you're on camera. Like they're not gonna let me do that.
B&B, who thinks that he should have a double punishment or should have to redo this punishment and film it? With no prep. Yeah. That's my.
Yeah, you can weigh in for sure.
Yeah.
All right. The only other tidbit I got is we have a bonus episode. I think it's coming out this week if it's not already out, which is thru hikers versus real backpackers. I brought one of the most prolific thru hikers ever onto our show, and then we just basically like accuse each other of why thru hiking or backpacking was good or bad or this or that, and we just kind of went after each other. So it's just a versus episode. We don't do these very often, and so you can decide.
I'm sure you love
who
that.
Wins.
You probably love.
I was on the side of real backpackers.
Did you grade them after the end? Did you give them a grade?
I don't remember. I think you're gonna have to tune in to find out.
You should have been like, you know what? I gave you like a B for this whole thing, or a C.
One of his answers definitely deserved a low grade, but he had some good ones too. I'm not gonna say which one. You got to tune in to find out. So that's gonna be on the Patreon.
Watch Carl be a ridiculous versus person with thru hikers. All right,
that's all I got.
That's all I got. Thanks again, guys. Thanks for hanging out with us. Hope you enjoyed Dixie. We will see you next time on the Backpacking Blisters podcast. And remember, if you want to see Carl just bail out and not keep his word, just give him a bunch of trivia questions and have him fail and the whole season, and then he'll just bail out anyway. Let's have him do it again, though. What do you say?
I want to fly around the world.
Okay, so yeah, there was, we did have a trail. I don't know if he remembers this, but he affected everybody. We were on the trail. I can't remember where it was, somewhere remote, obviously. And we got out there, and there was a roadblock. There was like 6 guys, tats, AK-47 guns, like everything. Just the most gnarly situation. And we were going that way. And Carl said, guys, he turned around, he looked at us, he said, guys, don't worry about it. I got it. And you know what he did, guys? He started telling these guys so many jokes, puns. They got so bored, they fell asleep right there. And we just walked through. And we survived. So don't tell me Carl's not funny, because he's not.
I'm U.S. Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy. We all get distracted when we drive, whether it's from our phones or kids in the backseat bickering. But how we handle these distractions can be a matter of life or death. Before you get on the road for your next road trip, please put your phones on silent and take a mental note to focus on driving.
Paid for by NHTSA.
If you like the show, please take a moment to rate, review, and subscribe. It really does help the show to grow. Thank you for listening.